This is Monday, August 26th. It might be an interesting video that you get a chance to watch here in a moment. We'll see what happens. Presentations begin today, which we'll be getting to here shortly. You can make changes to your poster, which is why you have them there, and I'll talk about things on the poster to try to help you out. This is sort of your last time to make any changes. Again, if you know you need to change something on your poster and you want to go over and grab it, you're more than welcome to. Grades and B points for you guys. Your grades and B points are updated over here. And I have some good news and some bad news as far as your B points go. Your good news is, last week, I was being nice, and I was only charging you guys 1 B point each time you made a poor choice. I was not charging you 3 B points last week, because I figured it was our first full week of you guys making big kid choices, and I didn't want to be super mean to you. So I basically only charged you 1, sometimes 2 B points at the most. Here's the bad news. A lot of you are already in single digits, and that was with me being nice, charging you 1 point. This week, all of your poor choices cost you 3 B points each time. And again, once you hit 5 B points, then that's when you come over to Struggle Town. I can only have 2 people there. If I get a third person in Struggle Town, I have one of 2 solutions. Give all 3 kids detentions, which is usually what I do. We just go straight to a detention, because you're only over here if you haven't made good choices, and so giving you detention makes me happy. Or I pick one of you to send to the hallway. And it's usually whichever kid has been sitting there the longest, you get to go to the hallway and then watch class through the little glass in the door. Because again, being in my room is a privilege. And so that's where we're going to find out where those choices get to come back and haunt you, and some of you guys are going to be really haunted. And it's alright, at least sitting over here, you've cleared off your desk, so I wouldn't have to charge you more points because, you know, responsibility and learning and stuff like that. It's the bestest. Alright. I have also started in on my Students of the Week, and so with my Student of the Week, you'll see postery thing that is now over there. Adriana got it for the first week because it went off of that last Friday's quiz. I was looking for a kid who got a perfect score. We had a bunch of kids get perfect scores, and I was like, well, which kid went above and beyond? And Adriana is already up to over 50 B points. And so I was like, that's pretty impressive. And so she was already doing a whole bunch of good kid stuff. So I was like, you know what? That's pretty impressive. So because of that, she got it. So she has poster there. She also has the poster sitting on canvas. She also has a sign on her locker. And then she also got 5 B points. This week, I'll pick a new one. This week, it goes off your guys' presentations we're getting ready to get to. And we're going to see which kid impresses me with presentations this week and gets like a perfect score and goes above and beyond. You can keep walking. It's okay. It's not going to, camera doesn't face that direction. With your note card, this is me trying to help you out again. Have you filled out both sides of it, because any blank parts just come back to haunt you because you have to stand up and say it all. Mike?
If you don't have any pictures, what do you get? What pictures do you get?
So the ones I've been doing, the My Little Pony and stuff like that. So does your partner not have pictures?
No.
Then we'll put the pictures on there and we'll just glue them and make that happen. And we'll hook you up there in a moment. And we can help you out in that area. All right, the rest of you, we have it filled out. You feel good?
No.
This is the part where I think you guys are starting to realize where I just let you make poor choices and then suffer from them, as we're starting to see that happen in class. Same thing with this. If you get up there and you don't have part of it filled out, I'm not nice to you. I've been telling you every day, have this filled out. If you get up here and it's blank, you're out of luck. You just stand there and go, while we stare at you. Because if you have a question, this is where you say a thing. If not, the suffering happens. That's the only way you get to be a better person, is sometimes you have to go through pain. And some of you are going to have to go through a lot of pain. Speaking of pain, on this one, did you fill in the spot that has this giant arrow to it where it says your partner? Here's the answer. For a lot of you, it's no, because I've already looked around and seen a lot of blank ones. Plus, a number of kids have turned this into me today, and you lose 3 points off your grade automatically for not filling that in, and it drops you down to an A-, because I keep telling you in class to fill it out, and the only reason to not fill it out is because you want me to charge you points, like the kid sitting in the front row who hasn't even looked at his yet. So this is just my way of trying to help you out. Yeah, I was. All right. Again, as far as poster goes, here are the directions I'm going to be grading you on with this. Is your first and last name on it? Is there no black marker and no pen or pencil? Meaning everything is big and bright and colorful marker and Sharpie on there. Do you have all the sections separated? Then did you go through there and have your things in common?
No.
And do you have your adjectives?
No.
On poster, I am only grading you on your part, and that is it. So if someone in your group didn't follow directions, as long as you followed directions, you don't lose points. So as long as your stuff has color and adjectives and your first and last name and is next to your face and you have things in common, then you get to go tucka, 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 and you get all your points. If the kid next to you has a big blank area and it just has a smiley face and that's it, they fail, not you. You don't control them, you control you. So just make sure your section is good. Now, if you want to go, hey Bobby, you haven't done anything, and if Bobby goes, passing is for suckers, then that's up to you. You can only try to help him so much. Questions on here before we move on? Okay. So, quizzy thing. On this one in here, everyone in here has turned in quiz, so you guys are good to go. On here, if you did not do well on it, if you got under a C-, you can resubmit it tonight, and I will regrade it for you. And you can get up to a C on it, meaning it's like up to a 19 out of 26. If you're happy with your grade, that's fine. I'm getting ready to go through every answer with you real quick, so that way you could just look on here. If you don't remember what the answers are, you can watch the video that we're making right here, and that will hopefully help you out, and that's fine with me too. That was my way of trying to be nice to you. All right. So the first two questions, my goal was to make them easy, just to make sure that you had some idea of what was going on. Turned out not being as easy as I thought, because I still had kids miss these questions. First one, what's the last name of your social studies teacher?
But.
That is correct. Now, one, I did have kids write my name here and wrote Brovicast. I don't know, I did have one kid who full out admitted they don't know what class I teach. And they were just like, I don't know what this is. And I'm like, really? And they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, legit. But at least you know what Mrs. Butz teaches. I mean, she does a good job, better than me. So that's something. I had some kids who just wrote my name because I think it was right here. And they were just like, it's a free answer. And they just wrote the Broviac right below it. And they're like, how did I get it wrong? And then some kids just didn't follow this direction and wrote Mrs. in front of it. And this was that whole could you follow directions thing. My goal was to give you two easy ones to start with, but some kids countered me. Who is your science teacher?
Melly.
And I thought that would be a fairly easy one. Kids seem to do better on this one than the first one. Maybe it's because you like her more. I don't know.
He said use it and
This one, I did not care what the answer was. What I cared about was how you got the answer. How do you find out when that homework was due? It was not over here because I made sure I picked something from the previous week. So if you couldn't look here to find it, how did you guys solve this?
Canvas.
Canvas was one. I had kids who went to Canvas where it has that little calendar. That's what I planned on people doing, but it turns out there was another way. Did anyone go about it a different way? So the other way is I had kids figure out that in your notebook, the day you wrote in there was the day I assigned it, and you could go back there and figure it out that way. And so I had some kids figure it out from the notebook, and I was like, oh, that's all I cared about was you could figure out how to do it. How you got there was sort of up to your creativity. This one, my full school email address, that's what it is. I just wanted to make sure you could figure out how to find my email. How did you guys find my email? Victor?
I went to Canvas and I copied and pasted it. But when I submitted it, it said it was wrong.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
So, because if you went to Canvas and copied and pasted and didn't go back to look at what it copied and pasted, it pasted the word mail to in front of it because you were copying a hyperlink. So it said mail to my name. So you had to go back and then delete that part. If you didn't delete that part, then that's why you got it wrong. And that came back to haunt some people. Dominic?
I was on Outlook.
Even better. I had kids who worked on Outlook, and I would absolutely count that one too. Abdi?
So I went to staff directory and
Yep, I had kids go to staff directory on the F. As long as you can find my email so you can contact me, how you got there, I was fine with. I had kids who tried to Google things. I'm fine with that as long as you got there. Those of you who didn't realize it said mail to in front of it, that's that having to go back and read your answer thing. I know, it's that live thing. That's the worst.
Oh, this one.
On this one, This one, kids were also creative on here because I did have the answer on my Canvas page and then removed it to see how well you could problem solve. Who is your counselor?
Miss O'Neill.
So how did you guys solve this one then?
I went to the directory and I just looked at
I had a lot of kids who went to the directory to do it.
I guess.
Abby?
Skyward and looked at my schedule.
Skyward, it was on your schedule. If you go to Skyward in your schedule, she's listed as like class period 0. Yep.
when I first did it, I got it wrong, and then the second time, I realized that the answer that I did was wrong, so I tried Mrs. O'Neill and the FJH website, and that was right.
There you go. I had kids who went through the FJH website. So out of curiosity, do you guys know who Mr. Maroof is?
No.
He's the 8th grade counselor. So you guys have O'Neill, and then Maroof is the other one. So if you Google, like, the counselor at FJH, it usually pops up with both of them, so that was just my way of saying. How about Mr. Butts?
Principal.
Good
I
job.
don't know who that is.
That's our principal, not related to Mrs. Butts, different name. And then Twasson,
I don't know who that is.
that's our assistant principal. And then Mrs. Matthews,
I don't know.
she's the guidance secretary. So anytime you go see Mrs. O'Neill, she's the lady behind the desk. I just threw extra names in there to see how well you guys were paying attention to things. 6. This one was another thank you one. A lot of you guys, well, one, it was entertaining watching you guys on the quiz try to hit this thinking it was a link, and you would just sit there over and over again hitting it and looking frustrated. And I'm like, no, dear, I just highlighted it so it was blue so you would see it. But then when you figured out how to get to YouTube, and you would see in big letters that said David Brovicast, you'd be like, got it! And you'd come back here and go, don't got it. Because that's not my actual page. That's my name. That's not my user account I needed you to find. So how did you find my user account? Presley? There you go. You had to find the little X symbol on there. Yeah?
I copied and pasted the link, and then I went into notes, and then I pasted, and then I saw that.
That works for me too. Good problem solving again. Victor?
I was scrolling around on Canvas, and then I saw however you say
Kivor,
that.
sure.
Yeah, and I figured out that must be it.
I use that for all of my social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's the same for all of it. To give you the background on this one, it's my last name backwards, Broviak. So it's just that direction. Which is
I thought it was so random.
not quite as random as you thought. So this was a name created by students of mine. So like my second year of teaching back during dinosaur times, I used to be like a happy hippie teacher, and it was all like, kids are wonderful and have great souls and we should bond. But the problem is, that's not a good teaching, because kids would like literally crawl on my ground while I was teaching like little animals, and I'd be like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm a dog. And I'm like, stop doing that, you're making me mad. I'm like, don't you care about my feelings? And they go, no. And I'm like, nah. And I would have all this pent-up rage because of kids being special little children, and eventually I was just like, ah! And I would just blow up and start yelling at kids, and it would freak them out. They're like, you're normally so nice, but then that other guy came out and he looked all scary, and they started naming him my name backwards. Mr. Brovicast was Happy Me, and then Mr. Kivor was Scary Horns and Fire and Flamey Me, and so there's like me and then opposite of me. Luckily, this version of me doesn't really appear anymore as I've gotten older and wiser and more patient with kids. And plus, I'm no longer a happy hippie teacher. Now I just dance on your tears and things go much better. So because of that, and this wonderful thing called therapy, you learn not to just let your anger out at children and crush them. Still, it pops out every random bit. Usually if I see a kid getting bullied or a kid's being really mean or racism or something like that, those are things I don't roll with, and I get all crushy. Otherwise, like the normal things you guys do, I can handle all that. But that's the Kivor evil side of me. This one, again, did not really care about what it was on the screen. I just wanted to make sure that you could get to my YouTube page. So in case you're dead, like poor Peyton and poor Olivia and poor Carlos, then when you're dead, you can find out how to watch it. For some reason, this year, there's a bug where you can't get on YouTube here at school. They know about it. They're trying to fix it, and they're like, someday we'll get to it. But it was brand new, like it just started. So that's why I just put a picture on there. So I apologize for that issue, but eventually it'll get fixed. I just had to do a workaround and put a picture on there instead. I just wanted to make sure you guys know how to watch a video in case you're absent. This one, again, I just wanted to make sure you could figure out where the notebook information was so you could get on there to find that. So what month does the new 9-week start?
October.
So my goal had been for you guys just to be smart and remember it. Because when we talked about those, the Heroes Hall Pass, I even told you don't get another one until October, and I made a big deal out of it, like joked around about it, which is why Isaac was surprised. He's like, I don't get a new one until October, but you don't get a new one until October. But a lot of kids' brains didn't remember. So how did you guys solve this then if you didn't remember it?
Went to calendar.
Oh, that would work. And then Victor?
Yeah, I went to calendar and so I started from August 7th and I counted
The
like
9 weeks?
9 weeks. And
Nicely done. I had kids do that. Mike?
I just looked at my class.
But it doesn't say on there. It just says first 9 weeks. It doesn't say the month.
I used context.
That would probably work too. And I did have a kid earlier who said they actually went to Google and Googled Hamilton Southeastern 2024 calendar, and it comes up with like what the calendar is, and they just looked in there for the next 9 weeks. And I'm like, all right, problem solved again. As long as you could figure it out, I was happy. This one, end of class, bell rings. What do you have to do? Good job there, Gunny. That's the smiling at me, the thing where you guys just stare at me. Normally, we just add a smile in, because typically you guys just stare at me and blink. Now you get to stare,
That's what
blink,
you
and
do?
smile. Ooh, I got 5 pins, by the way, on Friday from kids who experimented with this last part up there, where every time you click your pin, what happens if you click your pin?
That's 1 viewpoint.
No.
That's enough.
3?
Yeah, I rip it out of your hands and it becomes mine. And I knew that because on Friday, if you paid attention, we had kids who would get to this one and then look at me and go, click, 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 and then just keep looking. And eventually I get closer, they go, click, click. And eventually I go right out of their hands and then throw it, and they go, okay. And now they'd have their answer. Now, I'm not always going to give you a free answer in exchange for a pin, but this time it seemed like a good trade. I get 1 free pin, and then you get 1 free answer. So I was glad I got a chance to help you. Hopefully it was worth the sacrifice. And then this one, ooh, for here. What is it you have to give me? And there is one other answer you could go with, but you couldn't give it to me on Friday because you were using it. And that was the other one. So typically shoe or iPad, depending on like today you could do iPad because we're not using iPad, but Friday would not have worked. Victor?
The reason I got this one wrong is because I had it in all capitals. Yeah. And it said it was all capitals and they marked that wrong.
And apparently, so this was not an issue last year, and this is a brand new thing with Canvas where now they care about case sensitivity, and they didn't in the past. And so on those, what'll happen is if you get it wrong because of like just doing a capital letter, if you email me, I correct it for you and give you the points. And so as we go forward, like if it's on this one, you can still email me and say, Miss, not right now, you'll just have to be responsible. But if you email me, I will go back in there and change it. I don't count that wrong, and if Canvas does, that's dumb. And so you just email me and go, hey, I had the right answer, but Canvas hates me. And just tell me what number it is, I'll go check, I'll update your grade. I don't hate you as much as Canvas does. Points. How many points lost do you get the automatic detention?
15.
15. As soon as you lose 15 points, you get the automatic detention. And then finally, I tried to give you 1 freebie. Around my room, what superhero do you see?
Spider-Man.
That was again, hoping you could just, if you did not know who those characters were, I figured you could Google them and then Google Captain America. And then go, oh, I don't see him. Incredible Hulk. I don't see him. Thanos. And then you're good to go. That was a Thanos joke. All right. That was quiz. If you did not do well and you want to resubmit it, you can email me and I'm happy to give you points. If you're happy with your grade, more power to you. Before I move on, does anyone need to move their poster to someone else's desk? If you need to move poster to a new desk, you can. Otherwise, I'm assuming that you feel your poster is good to go. You're part of it. Again, don't worry about other people's. You worry about your part.
I got a blue stick
Yes, right there.
and a sensor.
Yep, right there also. Okay, you're good. Yep. Next up, here is where your notebook may come in handy, depending on how you like to use it.
What type of
I'm going to explain the tie game to you real quick. The tie game, the way it works is, the thing I'm wearing right here, I have over 400 ties I've collected over the years from gifts from people and kids and family members. We have less than 400 days of school. So I have more ties than days of school. So because of that, I will never wear the same tie twice in a year. Once you see me wear a tie, I won't wear this one again until you're an 8th grader. Because I have so many ties, I came up with a game to entertain myself. If you want to play my game, you get a chance for B points. If you don't want to play my game, you don't have to. It was just a thing I offered up there if you want it. My ties every week have something in common. Because I have so many ties, they're all going to be like music bands, or they're all going to be TV shows, or they're all going to have food on them or something like that. If you figure out what my ties have in common, then I will give you extra B points. That's where these directions come in. This is the only day I cover these directions. If you want to write these down, you're welcome to. I would recommend in your notebook on that first page that has an X, because you're always going to know where that page is, but that's up to you. If you don't want to write it down, that's fine. Over here, near where Evan is, this box you see on my desk, this is the box where you're going to put your guess. Below it, this big piece of paper, that is all the directions. But those are a lot of directions. This is the short form. You can always read the long form. I just assume most of you are lazy and don't want to. But that's up to you. Correct, because you're over here. Oh, come over here. That's why I'm recording it. You can watch the video later. So on here, that's what
Go.
so it's here. Step 1, you have your own piece of paper. I am not, if you want to sit there for a second so you can see it, I'll be that nice. You have to use your own paper. I am not going to give you paper for this. Whatever paper you use has to be the size of a note card or larger. It just can't be smaller than this. Note card or bigger. 4 things you write on it. These are the 4 things you write on your guess. And you only get 1 guess per week. So you have to make sure it's a good guess. If you guess on Monday and get it wrong, you're done for the week. The 4 things you write down, your full name, first name, last name. So you just have to write down Bobby Boberson. Then your class period. For you guys, it's 6. If you're in a different class period, you write whatever your class period is. I'm looking at the camera. You seem to freak out. So for you guys, it's 6. For other classes, it's something else. The date you're guessing, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then finally, what your guess is. They're all fish, or they all have monkeys, or they're all music, or whatever it's going to be. Down here, if you fold your paper, just don't fold it with your information on the inside because it's hard to unfold it to get to it. And then you can't use colors because that's Globetrotter stuff. It drives me nuts when I have kids go, every tie has black on it. I'm a genius. That's not the way it works. You can't say any type of color. You can't say colorful. You can't say, they're all ties. Good job, genius. So it has to be something that they have on the ties to help you out. Yes, I am playing this week. Now, this week, if you guess today, the first day of the week, you get 4 points because you only see 1 tie, which makes it the toughest. If you wait till tomorrow, you'll have seen 2 ties. So in that case, you get 3 points. Wednesday is 2 points. Thursday is 1 point. Friday is 0 points. So it goes down by 1 point because Friday, it'll be written up here on the screen. To give you an example week, here's how it would work. Monday, if you guess, how many points would you get? 4. So let's say I wear this tie on Monday. Just so there. It's got, it's kind of hard to see with that light, but we'll have to squint. It's got a little Winnie the Pooh. It's got Tigger. It's got a little donkey on there. So things that you can guess as a theme would be, what's that? Cartoons would work.
Animals.
Animals would work.
Jungle. The jungle.
Jungle would work, absolutely.
I said jungle.
All right. So it gives you an idea. You can guess one of those. Tuesday, how many points would you get?
3. Froggies.
Those are froggies. So now that knocks out cartoons, but animals would work.
Jungle.
Technically, jungles would still work because you find frogs in the jungle, so I would count that. Wednesday, how many points?
2.
Those are little puppy dogs. So now that probably takes out jungle because I don't think we have a lot of dogs running around jungles. And then Thursday, how many points?
1.
Well, that definitely takes out jungles, and that's a really special penguin. But hopefully this helps you figure out. So you just guess once per week if you want to. That's how you get your points. Then you would be good. Another quick example. Uh-oh, not superheroes.
M&M's.
This one requires you to think outside the box.
Candy.
Animation.
Because you can't guess M&Ms, because they're not all M&Ms. You can't guess superheroes. They're not all superheroes. Dominic?
They all have red. Wait, a logo.
Ooh, logo. Not bad. I would not count those as logos. Those I would, though. Not a bad guess. Maya?
Animation.
Animate. You know what? Ooh, I'm not sure I'd count that one as animation, though. Because that's just a symbol. Animation isn't bad. It wasn't what I was thinking. If you come up with a guess that I wasn't thinking of, as long as it still works, I'll count it. But this one is just the Superman symbol, so I'm not sure I'd count animation. Evan?
All of them have the color red in them. Wait. All of them are characters from a TV show.
I mean, it's a commercial I see before movies.
All of them.
Isaac?
All of the M&M's are on a TV show.
You're right. By the way, here's your hint.
Yellow.
What's on this one?
Shapes. Superman.
It's
They've
not
all,
a picture of Superman. What's it a picture of?
His logo.
What is
they're
his
all
logo?
logos. They're all logos.
The diamond with the S on it.
Uh-huh. That's your hint.
How's that a hint?
Victor?
They all have letters.
They all have letters on them.
Oh.
Sometimes you have to expand your brain a little bit. They all have letters on them. And that was the way, just trying to help you out on that one. All right. Now, let's hit that one.
A SpongeBob.
Time to talk about how we're going to do the presenty bits to help you out from there. This is where we're going to get to the presenting with the talkie bit standing here and the little chair up to here. I know you're going to find this shocking. This class is a little behind. I know, which means we're going to have to do the presenting tomorrow. Which is okay, because this is a smaller class, so we'll be able to get through it, and I'll explain this stuff to you tomorrow. Home children, you'll just have to wait till you show up and don't be dead, and then we can. Oh, I can show you down here. Look, home children. This is the chair. You're going to be standing on this thing right here to give your talk. You're going to be standing right here, and there's some other little X's over here, and we'll talk about that with you guys tomorrow. Bye.